When I was a young girl, I was about 4 years old. I grew up in a town called Yubo, and it was part of Vancouver Island. And one of the things that Vancouver Island is known for is being moist because it is a temperate rainforest. And because it is a temperate rainforest, there is a lot of mushrooms because it is a very humid climate and a warmer than average for the rest of the country climate. Um, a lot of the houses need dehumidifiers. Um, One of the ways that they combat that is by using wood stove. It helps keep things really dry. But one of the things that I used to do when I was really young with my father is I would go mushroom picking. And I grew up doing that. And I was 4 years old, and this is before I understood about dangerous mushrooms. I don't think that my father had had the conversation with me, but nonetheless, I remember I was in the yard with this kid named Josh who lived beside me. Uh, he ended up leaving when I was really young due to his parent passing away, but for about 4 years, I believe, maybe like 3 years, he lived there. And we were good buddies, and we were in front of his yard, and there was a mushroom there, and I dared him to eat it, and he said, "You eat it," and I said, "Fine, I will," because we were playing like house, and he was the dad, and I was the mom, and I was cooking, so I cooked the mushroom. Didn't really, I just picked it up, and I consumed a piece of the mushroom, unknowingly consuming, I believe, arsenic, because it was an Amanita muscaria, or no, it was the other one, Pantherina or whatever. So it was the big brown mushroom with the white spots. I know that there's some of them that are red with white spots, and there's like, I think, black and yellow ones. Like, they're Amanita, which is basically a species of mushroom. And I ended up experiencing neurological poisoning. I remember going into the house, sitting on the couch, and I remember my dad shaking me, being like, "Leslie, Leslie." And this core memory of mine, my father picking me up, being like, "Come on, baby, stand up." And I just fell to the ground. And coincidentally, I was wearing a green shirt then too. But I just remember him being like, "Okay, this needs to be dealt with immediately." And usually it is a 30-minute to 45-minute drive to Duncan from Yubo, but my dad made it there in about 15 minutes because he went as fast as he possibly could the entire way. And I don't blame the guy. I was pretty messed up. They ended up realizing that they could not take care of me at the Duncan Hospital, and they airlifted me to the hospital in Victoria, the Victoria General Hospital. I didn't know that actually until the last time that I went to Victoria to see my dad back in um, the October of 2024, right before I ended up in Vancouver. Actually, going to visit my father for a month was the reason why I even, or not even a month, a week, was the whole reason why I moved out to Vancouver in the first place. You know, just thought it's just a chaos theory, butterfly effect. And yeah, he told me that, and I had no idea. I thought this was all the Duncan Hospital because I got my stomach pumped, and I remember coming to kind of like the next day, and I was in the hospital. I had had my stomach pumped, and I remember the doctor coming in. I remember my dad bringing me, uh, like, I remember having Rice Krispies and really liking them, and having a coloring book, and my parents being like, "Oh, you scared me," but I didn't realize the gravity of the situation and how close of a call I had to death in that scenario until I was an adult. And To be honest, I didn't really think about it until like the last couple of years, like how close of a brush to death I had experienced because of the severe neurological poisoning and the fact that it was arsenic. And if my father hadn't acted so quickly, I wouldn't be here today. So I owe my life to my dad. And, you know, when I think about that situation, I appreciate that he worked really hard to get me out of it. But it was really scary, you know, now, especially looking at it from a grown perspective, you know. I'm really grateful. But yeah, I almost died when I was 5, or when I was like 3 or 4.